but I'm sure, super easy. There's no wrong answers. Actually, that's not true. There's
Okay.
totally wrong answers.
Welcome to Unscripted with Kirby Hasseman and Bill Petrie. In this weekly podcast, Kirby and Bill talk about the world of marketing, branding, and promotional products. Unscripted is available only at promocorner.com, the leader in digital marketing for the promotional products industry. Now, here's Kirby and Bill.
Bienvenidos al episodio 202 de Unscripted. Aquí están tus anfitriones Bill Petrie y el capitán de 5 de mayo, Kirby Hasseman.
And buenos dias, everybody. That is episode number 202 of Unscripted. I am your host, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, for you non-Spanish-speaking people, the captain of Cinco de Mayo, Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, hey, how the hell are you?
Man, I am super excited. Like, I don't know that I was in a great mood until I heard that intro. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that I'm editing another clip to begin that. That's really good.
Yeah, you might just have to leave it at that. You might have to leave it at that. Things
Yeah.
going well?
Things are going well. Trying to keep up with everything. It's one of those where we've gone from nothing to really busy again, and I like that. So that's really good. So how are you, man?
Good. Just rolling along, getting things going, and ready for summer. And if you want to know why I'm ready for summer?
Why is that, Bill?
Thank you for asking, Kirby. I'm ready for t-shirt weather because, we're sponsored today by our good pals over at Next Level Apparel. And it wasn't about reinventing the wheel. It was about revolutionizing it. So in 2020, Next Level Apparel has transformed the industry's tubular tee by combining art and science to create the 1800 unisex ideal heavyweight tee. And I know how much you love those soft fabrics used by Next Level.
I do. I'd love any kind of, at this point, it's funny. I've become a snob about t-shirts. I never thought I would say that, but I am one of those people that if somebody tries to hand me a t-shirt and it's not one of those soft t-shirts, I'm like, no, I'm good. Thanks. And I've become a snob about it because of shirts like that Next Level has. They're totally tubular.
Totally get it. Their vision was to create a tubular tee that offers an elevated fit made of soft fabric and everyday function inspired by streetwear, skatewear, surfwear, and workwear. Every cut, every thread, every person has come together in the organization to make this durable heavyweight cotton tee the new benchmark in streetwear fit and workwear function. You don't want to miss out on this tee. So head over to nextlevelapparel.com. You won't be sorry you did. Now, Kirby, thank you for having the courage to do this podcast post Cinco de Mayo with me.
Yep.
Do you want me to start off with the topic or do you want to go?
I'll go. I'll go. So, I've actually struggled a bit here lately to come up with topics. And I think it's because, the idea that essentially during this time with COVID-19, it's like there's not as many news stories around and they're all related to that. But one of the things I've seen a rise in, and I think you've seen it too, is sort of the self-proclaimed expert phenomenon. Like everybody suddenly is an expert about medical policy. And so I actually came across a study. I mean, call me crazy. It's a study as opposed to a random blog post. And it talked about self-proclaimed experts becoming a big problem. And it said self-proclaimed expertise often is accompanied by an appalling lack of knowledge. In a 2015 poll, this is amazing. He cited, he revealed a partisan split over the question of bombing Agrabah. 30% of Republicans were in support and 36% of Democrats opposed. The problem, of course, is Agrabah is a fictional setting for the Disney animated film Aladdin, right? So half the people interviewed had a very, very strong opinion about bombing a cartoon. So I think it speaks to the idea that suddenly everybody is a conspiracy theorist. And it is making me crazy.
Well, we talked about it before. One of the a lot of times a person's greatest strength also happens to be kind of their greatest weakness. And I view social media the same way. One of the greatest strengths of social media is the ability to connect people. One of the greatest weaknesses of social media is the ability to connect morons to people. And it gives everybody a voice. And generally that's a good thing. But the problem I have with a lot of the social media experts is they hide behind relative anonymity. You can throw out your very hot sports opinions on anything and have a reasonable amount of anonymity, or if you get a lot of blowback, oh, I was just kidding, or that kind of stuff. And it's amazing to me, in the world we live in, it's the same experts who absolutely knew what we need to do with the economy 6 months ago absolutely understand exactly how we need to handle COVID-19.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think what you found is there's this kind of weird perfect storm where folks who have that bent, like that believe in conspiracy theories, and I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know 7 people who can keep a secret, so I certainly don't think a country is. But I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but it gives folks who do have that bent all the time in the world to think about it and like cogitate on it. And I think the problem that I've seen is I've seen several pieces of content that are extremely well produced during a specific time. They're playing to the fear. Like if you've ever had a thought like that in your head, then all of a sudden it's like, see, I told you. And that is making me nuts.
Yeah, well, and the thing is with conspiracy theorists, whenever you have a conversation with them and try to combat it, it's like, well, you just don't understand. You have another research I have. There's always some sort of weird Teflon comment, so you can't ever really turn them around. Like, again, I think we've touched on this before. I grew up in Dallas, and my birthday is the day before the anniversary of the Kennedy assassination. So I spent a measurable portion of my youth figuring out, trying to figure out the case, right? Who did it? Did Lee Harvey Oswald act alone? Is there a conspiracy? And I went through my whole years of conspiracy theories and all that, and we're in the same boat. Yeah, I get it. I'm just rambling at this point.
Again, it's one of those things, but it's actually a struggle I'm having right now in the interest of transparency, Bill, with coming up with topics. Because where do I normally go for topics? LinkedIn, Facebook,
promotional products, professional page.
Dude, Facebook is almost I can't watch it anymore because literally every post is the same post because original thinkers have shared the exact same post as all their friends. And they're all conspiracy theories, and they're all about how everybody's out to get them. And dude, it's a tough time. I get it, but good Lord, man.
Yeah. It's
focus on something else.
Oh, okay. No question. It's a beatdown. That's a good topic. I mean, again, there's conspiracy theories and just real quick, like about, COVID-19 and all this, like as a government plot. I mean, come on, really? Yeah. Whatever.
Yep. Because Italy, Iran, China, Korea, all of those folks, I mean, they work together on a regular basis. So sure. Why wouldn't they do that for the worse, the betterment of their own views? It's just silliness.
Let's focus on something a little more positive, shall we?
Yes,
please. Kirby.
Yes, please.
All right. So PPEF, the Promotional Products Education Fund, which we've talked about before, is on track to award 161 scholarships in May, and that's such great news. The executive committee had discussed changes to see if with the current climate we're in, but they decided to go ahead and adhere to the original plan. They are going to send out over $276,000 in scholarships to 161 recipients, which to me just puts a huge smile on my face. I think that's amazing.
Well, it's amazing, and it's one of those things that does remind you of the good we can do, right? When we sort of do work together to try and create some level of positivity. And what I love about PPEF is that it gives us a place where we're like, okay, we want to do something good, right? And we want to donate to this or that. But I think so many times you can become paralyzed by choice. Right. And when it is kind of given to you and go, hey, this is a place where you can make a difference in our industry for people that and their kids or whatever. Yeah. I love that they have kind of given a target to folks who want to do some good in the world. And so that's really, really cool.
It really is. And I when I read that, I was like, wow, that is something. I know it'll be a brief topic, but I think it's something we should touch on.
Totally.
So I've now touched on it. So now we can move right on.
Okay. I've got another one that is another topic. I want to redefine being an optimist.
Okay. Redefine
being an optimist. Okay. So the reason is I've actually really always struggled. I think people tend to view me, especially through the lens of the content I create, as an optimist.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle with that definition of myself. And I think it's because I don't, in my mind, the definition of an optimist is who always sees the best in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not who I am.
Right.
Like that is definitely not who I am. I think people who know me best, and you know me very, very well, know that I struggle and that I'm negative sometimes, and so I think that I struggle with that kind of rainbows and sunshine definition of being an optimist. And so I was thinking about it through the lens of this project we're working on over at the building. So we've hired some flooring guys to refinish the hardwood floors on the second floor. They did a room, then they left and went MIA for about 2 weeks. I don't know.
Oh, no.
And it was maddening during that process, but it all happened during this time, this COVID-19 time where everything was shut down. Our business had slowed down, whatever. And so Amy and I talked about it. And through the frustration, we said, okay, we're going to double down. The girls are going to come paint. I'm going to come paint. We're going to take this weird thing and try and make the best of it. So I'm talking to the guy who sells me paint because we were going back and getting a lot of paint over and over. And he said to me, he said, well, this flooring thing that you were frustrated with, it was really for the best. And I was like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't for the best. The best would have been that they finished the floor job.
Well, yeah.
But I scoped it in a way or explained it in a way that's like, because they had done this, we were doing this. And so I say all of that to go to this. My new definition of being an optimist.
Here we go, everybody. Everybody get your pens and papers ready.
100% is seeing the world exactly as it is.
Okay.
And understanding the realities, the good, the bad, the pitfalls, all of that. And then understanding that my optimistic nature is that I have the ability to work with the reality that I'm in and make it better. That's my new definition of an optimist.
You're wrong. No, actually you're not. I think you're more, I think what you see, a lot of people see me. So, okay. A lot of people view you as an optimist. And I think we're all complex beings. A lot of people, I think, wrongly look at me as kind of someone who can be a little cynical and maybe even a little negative at times. Whereas I would tell you, I think that's completely the opposite of really my view outlook. I'm a realist. I'm very much a realist. I can assess a situation, see the pros and the cons. I might bitch about the cons, but I'll always gravitate toward the pros. I think you're very much the same way. I just happen to be a little more vocal about the negative part of it. What I liked about your definition of optimism is that's exactly what it was. It's realism. It's understanding what a situation brings to you and choosing the positive.
Right. Because it is a choice. I think
absolutely it is.
And I think
the negative is just more funny.
Sometimes. But one of the things that I've struggled with is I know that younger, especially, I was definitely not. Like my bosses when I was 22, 23 would not tell you I was an optimist. I worked really hard on my mindset to get there. And it's the idea that I think people look at me and then it's almost an excuse, I guess. Yeah. When they say, well, but you're an optimist. You see the best in everything. Yeah. No, I don't. Well, I see the reality in everything. And then I choose which direction to affect it if I can.
And see, I'm the same way now. Growing up, I was extraordinarily. I always found the cloud in every silver lining.
Right. Well, and I think that's the teenager in all of us, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think I was really wired that way from a young age, and I had to really retrain my brain. And I don't think I did it till I was about 35 or 40 to really take a much more optimistic view of things. I'll still joke about the negative because I do think the negative tends to have more comedy just inherently laden into it. But it's a choice. And we're all dealt very shitty hands from time to time where it's you lose a job, you're getting a car wreck, whatever. And it's a choice of how you handle those things.
Yeah.
And a true, you see, and we know people who are optimistic to the point of nausea, makes you nauseous. They're so positive. I can't stand those people any more than I can stand people who are just completely on the other side of the pendulum, who are negative because they don't live in what I call reality. It's, being a realist. They don't look at a situation and see, look, there's choices here, and it may not be ideal, but there are more. You can shift a situation more positive than you would negative if you work at it.
Yeah, it's funny. When you were describing that, I had a thought. You're saying those people who are so nauseatingly positive are one side, and those who are negative all the live long day on the other. You know what both of them have in common?
What's that?
Neither of them are action oriented.
No,
That's
no,
what
they're
I think. That's
complainers.
what bugs me and bugs you is like
Yes.
when people talk about just thinking positive thoughts and it will make your life better. No, it won't. It's a start.
Yeah,
but
I'm
then
a
you have to
doer.
act. You have to
I'm a
execute.
doer.
Yeah.
To me, someone told me one time, a long time ago, and it's, you just run into people across your life. I don't remember I remember who told me this, but I don't remember his name. And there's certain things people say that just stick with you.
Sure.
Bill, there are doers and there are non-doers in the world. You are a doer, and I'm like, okay, I can live with that. Yeah, because he's right. He was right. All right, you know what else is right, Kirby?
What's that, Bill?
We have good friends over at Tervis, who are our secondary sponsor today. Our good pals over at Tervis.
We love them.
We do. Last week we talked about that classic line, that 1946. We all know what that classic 16-ounce Tervis tumbler looks like. But today, Kirby, excuse me while I get a drink.
And I bet it's icy.
Oh, that is refreshing. It's like drinking fresh melted snow off of a polar ice cap, Kirby. We're going to talk about that stainless line today from Tervis. They added it to their well-established line, which we just referenced about 2 years ago, with the goal of being better than the competition by utilizing state-of-the-art custom 360-degree printing. And if you're watching our little video about this, you can see that state-of-the-art printing all the way around. That's 360 degrees, not 361, not 359. And they have all manners of sizes. They have the 12-ounce, 24-ounce, the 24-ounce water bottle, and my favorite, the 30-ounce, because it gives me a big drink that I can sip on all morning and stay hydrated. It stays cold for a billion hours. Okay, 24. It stays cold for 24 hours, hot for 8, vacuum insulated, copper lined, and it's got a 5-year warranty. You really can't go wrong with a Tervis tumbler. It's a name brand that people love and trust. So if you're interested in learning more, head over to tervispromos.com. Kirby, they'd be sorry they did?
They will not be sorry they did.
All right, Kirby. So one of the things I want to talk about was the advertising we are seeing during the pandemic.
Okay.
I wrote a Facebook post the other day.
And I wrote a blog about it. So yeah.
You did.
We're on it.
And I was watching TV with my family, and it struck me that every commercial started off with, "Now, more than ever, everything is important to you. And because it's important to you, it's important to us, because we're going to get through this together."
Your announcer voice has a hint of Trump.
What? Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't think so. Wow. All right. So I understand the struggle of advertisers of lending enough gravitas in messaging while making sure their brand stays in front of people. But some of this stuff is really silly to me. Like I saw a Kay Jeweler ad, "Now more than ever to show the mother of your children love." Like, yeah, what better way to commemorate a pandemic than a diamond? And, Burger King, "You might not be thinking of us, but we're thinking of you."
Super creepy.
Yeah, have you seen that one?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the folks who are flipping the Whoppers over there don't give two shits about me. As long as I keep spending money there, they keep a job, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's just weird and creepy. But now, more than ever. So where's the line there? How do we, I know how we're doing it, and I'll share, because we have the same problem in our industry. How do you stay top of mind? How do you advertise without being overly salesy?
Sure.
Because people aren't buying things like they normally would. Mm-hmm. And it's a delicate balance. And so I look at these national advertisers and man, I get that it's a struggle, but how about an original idea?
Yeah, well, it's funny that you say that, because the one that always strikes me, and it's been many places, but I swear it's both Papa John's and Domino's. I've seen them both say this. That
we never touch your pizza.
Once it leaves the oven, no one touches your pizza but you. I'm like, is that new?
No, they've
Please
always
tell
done
me
that.
That's not new.
No, they use a pizza peel to pull it off the conveyor belt oven. They slap it in a box, they put it in a hot bag and shove it in a car, and they drive the 1976 AMC Pacer to your house and throw it on your doorstep.
Yeah, it's just funny to me that nobody, like, the idea that somehow now more than ever, we're not eating the pepperonis off your pizza.
It's just the whole thing. I get that they need to pivot their messaging, but and then maybe this is the cynical part of me, right? I don't believe that Burger King really cares very much about me and my actual problems and my family's problems and all that. And it just, when they try to relate like that, like we're all in this together. No, we're not. We're not all in this together. We're all, I wrote about it and I stole from somebody else, so it's not my original thought, but we might all be in the same storm, but we're not in the same boat. That's for sure. Because some people have jobs. Some people don't. Some people are independently wealthy. Some people aren't. Some people, and. So.
Well, and I guess back to your original question, because it is funny. Like, and I, like most people, I'm watching a little bit more TV, and it is tiresome when, like, they're the same ads. The folks who have decided to run are running, right?
Yeah.
And it is one of those, they all, not only are they the same ads that you're seeing over and over again, which is fine, they all sound like the same ads. So I agree with that. But back to your question about how do we manage that? Like for us, for probably 3 weeks, I would say, and again, it's all a blur. We were not going to our clients and asking for sales. We just weren't.
Right.
What we had kind of decided to do, and I think we talked a little bit about this before, is we were like, okay, we're going to create content that tries to meet people where they are, productive ways to work from home and do, all that sort of thing. Now, I will say that we have shifted that partially out of necessity, but quite frankly, the real reason is that I have found a way that I can feel good in my heart going to market and selling something. I actually think, and I was talking to Mark Graham about this the other day, I think that we as an industry are uniquely suited to solve the mask problem.
Yes, we are. And I think people are seeing the value of our industry more than ever.
Yeah.
Becoming aware of our industry more than ever.
Absolutely. And my pitch, it was funny. I told my team about 3 weeks ago, I started saying pretty loudly that A, masks are going to become the new normal. And B, if that's the case, then we might as well do branded ones. Just might as well. It's a branding opportunity, all that sort of thing. And about, 2 weeks in, I started to look like Nostradamus, because all of a sudden the people we were talking to 3 weeks ago about it were like, no. And then they started coming to us.
Yeah.
And I think we have an opportunity, almost a mission from my perspective, to help people solve that problem. And so that has allowed me to go to market with a very clear conscience.
Yeah. Well, and I think I think the best way to look at the advertising, because I've talked to people who are struggling with it. How do I advertise? I think if you kind of step back and say, okay, a year after this pandemic ends, so a full year after it ends, you want to be able to look back at how you acted, what you did, what your messaging was during that pandemic, and be able to be very proud of what you've done.
Yep.
And so that's why I think a lot of the advertisers are taking the safe route. They're taking that very, we're all in this together now more than ever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you have to balance that out with taking some risks too, being bold with your messaging. I think it's okay, for a Burger King to say things like, we're scared just like you are, and we're taking every precaution just like you are. So if you don't want to cook, we're here for you. To me, that's a more honest message of, you might not be thinking about us, but we're thinking about you. I'm sorry. Come on. I mean, I'd rather them just say, hey, we are, honestly, people who are in the restaurant and service industry, they're frontline workers right now. Yeah. It's not just doctors and nurses. I mean, it's a second tier of that group.
Of course.
But the grocery store clerks and all that's not easy stuff to do. And I think when you talk about openly about we talk about transparency, you be transparent about, hey, we're doing this because you guys rely on it. So do we. Our families rely on it too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I like it. And I think, again, what you just said is really good. And I think it's funny, something I've subconsciously focused on. It's the reason that for several weeks that we weren't out there selling. I'm like, I want to provide as much value and feel good about it.
Yep.
And again, it's funny. I was talking to the folks from Showdown, because on a unscripted one day, you were like, what can you sell? And I was like, hand sanitizers, masks, and signage, right? That's what I was doing to go to market. And I feel it's weeks later, things you and I've talked about it. We're a little busier than we have been, which is exciting.
Yeah.
But I still feel good about how we're going to market. And so I think that's a great litmus test though.
Awesome. Do you want to go another one? Or are you ready to move on?
I'll make it a quick one. So you recently got a haircut, as everyone can tell.
I did.
And you look great.
Woo! Haircut.
So what was it like to get a little tiny piece of normal back? Talk about that.
So I actually got a little blowback from a couple people saying, man, I can't believe you did that. You know, we're still in the middle of this thing. And like, okay, whatever.
You mean the people who are suddenly medical experts?
Yeah. These are the same people who failed high school science class. Anyway, so the salons in barbershops opened up here in Tennessee in most areas on Wednesday, the 6th.
Yeah, and by the way, just real quickly, my guess is whoever said that, in their area, the salons haven't opened. Because let me just tell you, the moment they happen in Ohio, everyone is going. So that's why I'm asking. I'm jealous.
Yeah. No, so well, and here's the thing. So the lady who cuts my hair, I've known her 9 years since we moved here. She's done it. And so she let me know that they'd gotten the clearance to open up, that I want the slots. I took slots for me and the kids. Drew had to work. He couldn't go, but Mitch got a haircut too. All sorts of protocol. Things are a little bit different. She had to wear a mask. I didn't. They wouldn't use the reusable little cape they put on me. Normally, she used a trash bag.
All right.
But I got my hair cut. And I actually, I struggle with it because I've less on top than I think. And I like the sides. I kind of like the length, to be honest with you, but I didn't want to go full Phil Collins studio. So I went ahead and got it cropped off like I normally do, and it feels great. Honestly, I feel like the weight of the world's off my shoulders.
That's awesome. So a little bit of normalcy. I was rooting for it. When I saw it, I was like, good for you, brother.
It felt just wonderful.
Cool.
All right, Kirby, now we're at the time of this podcast where we talk about our promo person of the week, dedicated to highlight the one person who's really getting our attention. And I have someone here who I'm a big fan of. She's a friend, but what she does sometimes is unheralded. So I'm here to herald. Or heralding. Kate Mayswitch, the marketing director at commonsku. When people think of commonsku, they think of Mark Graham, they think of Bobby Lehue, they think of David Schultz, they think of Sam Cates and Catherine Graham, and all wonderful people. One of the real unsung heroes there is Kate Mayswitch, who runs a lot of their events and also has done a great job with their commonsku social hour, their community social hour, which they do every Wednesday at 4:00 p.m. Eastern time. And she does such a great job moderating that, corralling 80 people, moving them from one room to another. And she does it with a smile. Every time I've seen Kate, and I've known Kate probably pretty well for about 4 or 5 years, I've never not seen her with a smile. She's human like the rest of us. She has bad days like the rest of us. But she does things with a smile. And I absolutely appreciate what she does and what she brings to commonsku.
Oh man, that's a good one. And you're exactly right. So, much of what I know about Kate, it's certainly through commonsku since I'm a user, but the events is where I get to see, I feel like, her shine, her putting it together. And let me just tell you, I'm sure moving people through the Zoom meetings and all that sort of thing is hard. Moving me after a couple cocktails into the right room is even harder. And so she does a great job. And like you said, she does it with a smile. That's a great choice.
Oh, awesome. She's great. All right, Kirby.
All right.
Dealer's choice. What are we dealing with today?
Okay. So you are, in our dealer's choice, you are a self-proclaimed music lover and sort of music expert in some way. And so I want to do a fill in the blank.
Okay.
And a fill in the blank with lyrics.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the first, and then your job is to fill in the next lyrics that come along. These are pretty easy ones because, of course, they're mine, and not as extensive as all of your music knowledge. But I'm sure, super easy. There's no wrong answers. Actually, that's not true. There's totally wrong answers.
All right. So I'm just supposed to give the next lyric.
That's right.
Okay.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll start with an easy one from Jimmy Buffett. Changes in latitudes.
Changes in attitudes. Can I do it in a DJ voice?
Yes, absolutely. That's perfect.
All
Great
right.
job. Great job.
Yep.
Crisscross will make you
applesauce.
Jump.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our first wrong one.
Yeah, wrong!
Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you down. Never gonna come around and hurt you.
Very good. Very good.
Never gonna tell you why. Never gonna say goodbye.
Very good. I want to write down when that is. It's 9:32. Okay, so who let the dogs out?
Whoop, whoop, woof, woof, woof.
Who? 5 times. Who?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
I've got a peaceful, easy feeling, and I won't let you down.
Because it's the Eagles.
Yep.
Because I've already fallen on the ground, something like that.
Because I'm already standing on the ground.
There you go. Close enough.
There you go. All right, ready? Final one. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, stop.
Hammer time.
I'm sorry, it's Collaborate and Listen by Ice Baby.
Hey, stop. Hammer time.
No, my game, my rules. It's Ice
Baby.
Baby.
Wow. So angry. So angry.
A little dose of Bill Petrie message back to you. You're welcome.
There's no reason to unball. Let's just relax. Just relax. You know what else helps me relax, Kirby? I'm glad. You're good pals over Next Level Apparel. You know, they got that 1800 unisex ideal heavyweight tee. Every cut, every thread, every person came together to make this durable heavyweight cotton tee the new benchmark in streetwear fit and workwear function. You don't want to miss out on this tee, Kirby. You got to head over to nextlevelapparel.com. You're not going to be sorry that you did. Kirby, as always, enjoy doing Unscripted with you. I look forward to the next opportunity. Buenos dias.
Thank you for listening to Unscripted with Kirby Hasseman and Bill Petrie. Unscripted is available every Friday at promocorner.com, the leader in digital marketing for the promotional products industry.